Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Less Work More Travel. We're not doing too much travelling at the moment, but I think today's video could be very important for a lot of people who want to come to London. I'm staying in London for 2 nights. I'm staying in a hotel on Earls Road. So I'm currently on a walk from Victoria Station to Earls Road. Check-in's not for another 3 hours in the hotel, so why not start the vlog now, huh? And in this video, we're going to be doing a bit of an ultimate travel guide to London. And this might be really useful for people who have never been to London or want to come here as a tourist. So I'm going to give you a few little tips and tricks on the way that can make your trip in London a little bit cheaper, because you're going to need a heavy wallet or a heavy purse if you want to come to this city. One thing you do see when you're walking around West London is some absolutely gorgeous vehicles. Take a look at this old Rolls Royce, an absolute beauty, isn't it? And as we pass the old one, we come up to the new one. So make sure everyone hits that subscribe button so I can eventually afford one of these. And basically, I'm just going to be carrying my GoPro around for a couple of days and telling everybody about the sights of London. Now this video might not be useful for people who've spent a lot of time in London, but I'm making a travel vlog about London, so if people have never been to London before, I hope I can give people a few tips on what to do. And so, as we walk from London Victoria to Earls Road, we go through some quite nice parts of southwest London. I'm currently in Belgravia, which will be one of the most affluent places, not only in England or Europe, but probably in the world, to be honest. This area is really nice. It's actually full of embassies, so there's not a whole lot of shops and stuff around. But it's really nice to come and have a walk around. And then once you walk through Belgravia to Knightsbridge, you can certainly see the nice cars, the nice shops, the nice restaurants, the nice cobbled streets. You'll see all these absolutely lovely little gardens, little square gardens you can see. Sadly for us, you got to live in these £2-3 million flats before you're able to get let in. Sadly, these gardens are private, which is highly annoying as you often want to walk around and quickly nip in. First tip when coming to London, make sure you get one of these, Oyster card. These are going to get you travel on the buses and tubes in London. Very important. It's going to save you money and it's going to save you time, as you're not going to need to queue up for a ticket. You can get these online from some shops, not all. But if you're coming into London, especially a train station, I'd recommend just going to the tourist information that's in that train station, and they'll be able to sort you out one of them. Very important, get an Oyster card before you come to London. Look what I've just seen after coming from Southeast Asia. Welcome to London. A Thai massage, £55. £55. In Thailand, £4 to £5. 10 massages in Bangkok to 1 in London. And they'll be better over there. Probably give you a few more services as well in Bangkok. Incredible. Fully qualified. I should hope so for £55. Woo. If you're ever lost in London, if your phone's run out of battery, if you don't have any internet signal, if you've just got to the city, I know what it's like. But use these maps. You often find them outside bus stops You can see one coming into the station now. But yeah, use these maps, really important. I've had to use these a few times on nights out when my phone's run out of battery. You can see where you are and roughly see where you need to be. Very useful. And for any football fans that are watching, as you come towards the end of Fulham Road, Stamford Bridge, Chelsea. So as you can see, it's quite a nice area, this bit. If anyone wants a drink around the Chelsea area, there's plenty of bars and nice restaurants. But if you want a couple of nice pubs which are close to each other, right next to Stamford Bridge, we've got the Chelsea Pensioner. And it's a bit of a sports pub, that one. Really good to watch the football. But as you come down, you come across this cul-de-sac, really nice. And you get this quite a bit in West London. And you've got a really nice pub here called the Fox and Pheasant. So make sure you check that out. And so you're in the Chelsea or Fulham area. You want to get up to Kensington. How do you get there? On a nice walk where you don't have to walk through all this traffic. Well, who likes cemeteries? I never thought I'd be talking about a cemetery with people on a London vlog, but this one I really like. It's called Brompton Cemetery, and I'll put it on a Google map. And to be honest, you never guess, but a cemetery, it's really peaceful here. I used to cycle through here all the time when I worked as a Uber Eats delivery driver. And it's one of the only parks in the whole of West London where you can actually hear no one. If you want some peace and quiet and you've lived in London a while, this is a really nice kind of area to walk in. And a nice little shortcut as well, so worth keeping an eye out for. And if you can see what I mean when I say there's no one about, you don't get this in West London too much. Absolutely no one. I think it's because as well, there's so many tourists that come to London that I think a lot of people don't know that you can walk through here. And it's the reason why it's so peaceful. Where can I find cheap accommodation in London? Your guess is as good as mine, I'm afraid. If anyone knows, comment below. Because there's no such thing in London. I did get a bargain for this hotel though. I think I'm paying about 35 quid a night for 2 nights, which in London, I think I might have the cheapest hotel in London tonight. I booked it through booking.com. Now, if you do want a few little tips and tricks on getting hotels and accommodation in London, you're pretty much going to have to book your stay through the week and not at the weekend. Any accommodation in London is going to be about twice the price on a Friday night and a Saturday night. Sunday night, the prices tend to lower a little bit. And I booked my hotel 2 weeks in advance. So it's the only two kind of tips I can give when you want accommodation in London. Book a couple of weeks in advance and try and come here during the week and not at the weekend. One place in London I do not recommend coming to is the street that I'm on now, Earls Court Road. I've worked up and down this street 3 or 4 years out of the last 6 or 7. And yeah, if you want to see lots of homelessness and an incredible amount of drug problems, this is the street for you. Considering this is West London, this is one of the worst streets about. It's absolutely horrible. So yeah, if you're going to West London, go to Belgravia, Mayfair, Kensington, a few of the places that I've already been to and that I'm going to go to, and just skip this street. One positive about Earls Court Road though, it's got this fantastic charity shop. It's called Royal Trinity Hospice, and around West London there's about 4 or 5 of them, and they're really good for second-hand clothing. Absolutely brilliant. I go around quite a few charity shops in London and I haven't found any better than Royal Trinity Hospice. So just Google map it and check it out if you want some cheap second-hand clothing. This is the place. Right, it's check-in time at one of the great hotels in London. Hotel Olympia with some scaffolding up the front. Let's go and see what £35 for a hotel room in London looks like. Let's go. I'm quite impressed with this. A tiny room, obviously, but it's got everything that's needed. Kettle. Double bed, maybe not quite a double, but a queen size or whatever they call it. Telly. Wardrobe. Doesn't quite open like it should, but what do you expect for the price? And it's actually quite a decent little bathroom with its own shower cubicle. 35 quid a night. I'm actually quite impressed with this. I thought this would be a lot worse. Yep, I can handle being here for a couple of nights, no problem. So maybe you can find bargains on booking.com. You just need to book 2 weeks in advance and come up to London on a Tuesday. Day 2, London. Nicely rested. This is my final day in London, so there's plenty to explore. Earls Court Road, the road we're walking up now, isn't very nice, like I mentioned before. But there's plenty of places surrounding it which are well worth an explore. And one of them is Holland Park. It's on the top. White Ven men being idiots as ever. On the top of Earls Court Road and on the edge of Kensington High Street, you'll find Holland Park, and it's really, really good. So we're going to explore it now. The entrance to Holland Park, not a spectacular entrance, so it's easy to miss. And what I will be mentioning when I'm in this park, there's a hostel called Safe Stay that's actually located in this park. I've stayed there between 1 and 2 months of my life, so I know it quite well. It's not a bad hostel, pretty cheap, around 20 quid a night. And it's a hostel that I would actually recommend staying if you want to be around West London. Wow, the days I spent cycling up and down this path so many times. I used to work as an Uber Eats driver down in Earls Court Road for a few years, and I used to live in this hostel up here, so I used to cycle down here every single day to work. And the nice thing about Holland Park is it's got a sports field, so in a couple of months when it gets to spring and summer, this will be absolutely heaving, full of people playing cricket, football. There's some people playing tennis at the moment over there, and it looks like there's some school kids going for a run or doing some sports. So yeah, it's actually a really nice atmosphere in this park, spring and summer. You've got batting cages for cricket there, you've got tennis courts over there, and then you've got some street workout equipment over here. Now, I filmed a lot of street workouts when I was in Southeast Asia. Doesn't look quite as glamorous here. There's people working out with gloves and a coat over in the corner, and even some golf practice nets here. I don't think I've ever seen that in a park in London. That's really, really good. Even though I stayed in Holland Park for a couple of months, I never actually got the chance, I didn't have the time to explore it. So this is all quite new to me, and the park's even better than I first thought. Something that's quite important about the parks in London, when they open and when they close, especially when they close, because in summer the parks can be often open later, obviously more daylight, right? So yeah, very important, because on Google Maps when you're in London it can say you can walk through the park, but sometimes you can't because it's shut. So something to be aware of if you're a bit of a tourist in London. Just try and research when the park's closed if you're walking around at night time. Many times when I've been in London, I've been cycling, Google Maps has said go through the park and it's been shut. Happened to me so many times, so something to be aware of. So yeah, I'd say out of the big parks like Hyde Park and Regent's Park, if you want a smaller park and you're around the West London, Central London area, definitely come to Holland Park. Definitely worth a look at. And here we have it. The Fukushima Garden in Holland Park. Let's go and check it out, should we? How can you tell a peacock to open its feathers for the brilliant camera shot? I could be waiting a while. But no, absolutely amazing. Honestly, I can't believe how good Holland Park is. So I can't really go in the hostel because I'm not staying there, so I can't really show you around. But this is Safe Stay Hostel in Holland Park. And actually, after walking around Holland Park a bit more, I'd maybe recommend it a little bit more. It's all dormitory rooms, and I did get bed bugs here. The only time I've got bed bugs is in this hostel. But for location wise, you cannot really beat it. And during the week, you can probably get a dormitory room for around £20 a night, which for London is unbelievably cheap, but my time in there's done. I spent far too long in that building. So, but I thought I'd let you guys know as well, because I've stayed in plenty of hostels in my time, and I've stayed in this one quite a lot. So I hoped everybody enjoyed Holland Park. Let's quickly head to the next destination. And as you walk north through Holland Park on this cycle path and walk park here, you end up in Notting Hill. Now this is a very, very nice part of London. It's really nice walking around the Ladbroke Grove, Notting Hill, Kensington type of area. If you want to walk around and just look at houses that you can't afford, this is the place to do it. Honestly, the amount of money these houses will be worth. It's strange actually, when I was in Southeast Asia for 4 months, I was thinking about when I would vlog in London, and I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it or not. But I'm actually really enjoying just walking around London with a camera, because I'm exploring places that I don't even know. This is a pretty cool road, I must admit, in London. Portobello Road, Notting Hill. Great places to eat, great places to drink, good places to like buy clothes and things like that. Good atmosphere here, good music, street food. It's got everything up and down this road, and especially in spring and summer you can have a really, really good atmosphere here. And at the weekend this road is heaving. I feel a bit wrong promoting Thai restaurants in Notting Hill when I've just come back from Thailand myself. But this is a really good little restaurant, cheap as well. It's called Brown Rice up Portobello Road. And if you're hungry, like Thai food, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet kind of style. Check it out. Not really gin and tonic weather, is it? But when it is, look no further than the Distillery. A really good bar that's just dedicated to gins. So when the weather's nice and you fancy a gin and tonic, come to this place down Portobello Road, really good. Although if you're buying a gin and tonic from that bar, make sure you've got lots of £20 notes on you, because you'll need it for in there. And loads of vintage clothes shops here, not just charity shops. So, bought myself a late lunch from Brown Rice. All you can eat, but all you can eat that you can fit in a box. £6.60 for London, that's pretty good. So, I'm gonna find a bench and have some food and finish walking up Portobello Road. So what's the best pub up Portobello Road? In my opinion, the Earl of Lonsdale. It's a Sam Smith's pub, and in summer it's got a massive beer garden. So well worth checking out if you're ever in Notting Hill and want a drink. And as we walk back through Holland Park to our hotel in Earls Court Road, that brings day 2 of filming to an end in London. But don't worry, there's a bit more to come tomorrow. We started our journey at Victoria Station, and that's where we're going to end it. So in tomorrow's vlog, we're going to continue our journey, and we're going to do a bit of a circle. So we're going to go to Hyde Park and we're going to explore the West End tomorrow. So make sure you check that out. See you again soon. And where am I? Hyde Park, perhaps the most famous park in the whole of London. So I'm just going to have a walk around the lake, take in the scenery, enjoy the sun, and then have a slow walk through the West End, which will be quite exciting. And then finally end up at Victoria train station, where it all began. And one of the highlights for me personally in London are the parks. I think the parks are fantastic here, and I'm going to be exploring all of them on my vlog. I've not been to Regent's Park yet, so looking forward to doing that one. But it's just everyone's chilling out. You've got dog walkers, you've got a lot of tourists.
Why is he scaring you? Sorry.
Doesn't like my microphone.
I think it might be the microphone.
If you ever are thinking of coming to London for a visit, for a holiday, whatever, definitely come here in spring or summer, because this is one of the reasons. Like I mentioned in Holland Park, the parks shut later the more you get towards summer. So if you're going to come here in January, Hyde Park's going to be shut at about 5 o'clock, but in spring and summer it's going to be open till 9-10 o'clock. So like most of Europe, really pick the months you choose to come to this place. Just so many things to see when you're coming around this park. You could do a whole vlog just on Hyde Park. At the edge of it, Royal Albert Hall, perhaps one of the most famous theatres in the entire world. The reason why I've done a lot of walking around in this London vlog and explored a couple of parks is that I'm a budget travel vlog, and if you want to be a tourist in London and not spend too much money, you're going to have to do a lot of walking and a lot of sightseeing. Otherwise you're going to be spending so much money. So this is the type of thing that I would be doing if I was a tourist in London for cheap. And after a bit of thought on the cheap little tricks you can do for London, I'm actually just going to make a whole vlog about that because I think it's really important. But yeah, basically get an Oyster card, download apps onto your phone so you get a discount for the first time you purchase something, which is really good for things like taxis. Just there's so many little random things you can do, so that's all going to come up in a separate vlog. It's strange, I used to really hate people who used to film Buckingham Palace and that, especially when I'm trying to ride here on my bike, but now I'm doing it myself, so I can't really complain anymore, can I? But I must admit, for where it's situated in London, it is a pretty spectacular building. And you're never going to be bored in London, are you? The amount of things you can see in this city is unbelievable. And I never actually used to look at all this kind of stuff when I lived here, but I am now. I'm doing a vlog. So if you're going to be a tourist in London, don't worry about boredom. You can even see London Eye over there. I'm not sure you can see that too much on camera, but you got London Eye over there, Hyde Park over there, Buckingham Palace over there, all the royal parks surrounding it. If you're a tourist and want to come to London, you're going to be spending quite a bit of time around this area. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's my birthday today. Oh well, that's enough celebrations for 1 year. One good present I can have though, the only one I need, more subscribers. We are halfway to being monetized on this YouTube channel, which I'm really happy about, but we need to get them subscribers up. So make sure you hit that button. And here we have it, the West End. And I know I've mentioned in this video that I'm going to be doing a lot more vlogs, but I certainly will be doing one about the West End of London. I just do not have the time or the energy to explore it all now. There is just so many places to talk about. There's Soho, there's Chinatown, there's Carnaby Street, there's Covent Garden, there's Piccadilly, there's Leicester Square. I mean, that is all going to be coming up in the next week or two. So, this actually brings an end to my vlog. It's been a bit of a weird one. It's been a 3-dayer in London, but It's going to be interesting to see how the edit comes out and if people like it or not. Let me know if you like these types of vlogs. Abroad trips, don't worry, they are coming very, very soon. I'm just working out how to do it all. Thanks to everybody who's watched this. This is going to be a long vlog. And for anybody who watched all of it, big shout out to you. Less work, more travel, and I'll see everyone again very soon. All the best.